The Assassins, a masterful cult of warriors who silently protect the freedom of the masses from the corrupted, world domination desires of the Templars. And at the heart of their wisdom stands one man, Altaïr. Despite his complete lack of any ability to swim, this slippery fish out of water revolutionized the entire Assassin's Order into what we know today. But beneath his Scaleman cloak and hidden blade, who is Altaïr? And more importantly, what could have made him the master assassin that recreated a clandestine organization in his own image with the fate of the world in its hands? As we dive into Altaïr's legacy of sorrow and pain, let us reveal the story you never knew. Let's begin with Altaïr's childhood and family. Altaïr was born into the Assassin's Order. His mother died giving birth to him, and Umar, his father, was executed when he was just a little boy. This sheds some light on Altaïr's last name. I'm going to butcher the shit out of this. Ibn Lahad? Lahad? Whatever that says means son of no one. No one indeed. So a bit of a rough start for little Altaïr. I'm sorry, I'll never say that again. Now an orphan, Altaïr is raised by the assassin's mentor, Al-Mualim. Over time, Altaïr shows great promise as an assassin and swiftly rises through the ranks. At the young age of 25, he ascends to the rank of Master Assassin, the youngest to ever hold the title. That's right. Altaïr was a master assassin before most of us were master parallel parkers. It's harder than it looks, Altaïr! Fast forward one DS game later and Altaïr has become a cocky prick resembling this guy, minus the witty punchlines and give no fucks American spirit. This is the Altaïr we meet in Assassin's Creed 1. Arrogant, self-possessed, a solid chowderhead through and through. In an effort to retrieve an ancient artifact from the Templars in Solomon's Temple, Altaïr's rash actions led him to break all three tenets of the Assassin's Creed. Convicted of betraying the Order, Al-Mualim strips him of his title and weapons, demoting him to a novice to teach Altaïr humility. Or was it just a clever plot twist by Ubisoft to make you start without any weapons, because that way they can show progression through the character, which makes it seem as though you, the player, are really growing with Altaïr, even though in reality the game is just giving you access to more weapons, not personal growth. Whatever lets you sleep at night, Ubisoft. If that is your real name! Al-Mualim gives Altaïr a chance at redemption where he must kill 9 people who, unbeknownst to him, are the leaders of the Templar Order. Big surprise! Thus begins the longest segment in any video game where you do the exact same thing over and over. I mean, I've heard of grinding, but that's usually with tall grass and silly-looking monsters. But seriously, a Pokemon made of garbage? And car keys? Is this what we want our children growing up with? So you do some research, Hasselhoff some people, kill some guy, return to Al-Mualim and get some new item you may or may not ever use, and a new mission to kill some other guy. And that's basically all there is for gameplay in Assassin's Creed 1. Thankfully, there's some actual plot to go with it. Remember that artifact Altaïr failed to obtain at the beginning of the game? Well, it was retrieved by some other assassin. The artifact is called the Apple of Eden, even though it looks more like a cantaloupe. See? I'm not making this stuff up. The cantaloupe has extraordinary powers, including being able to create illusions and actually kill people if the user has the mind for it. And at the end of the game, it is revealed that Al-Mualim has been corrupted by the apple's power, and Altaïr must fight his mentor in a battle reminiscent of a certain Agent Smith situation. After killing Al-Mualim, Altaïr takes the apple as his own, not trusting anyone else under its power. And that marks the end of Assassin's Creed 1, so let's take a step back and analyze what we know so far. There's one word that sticks out to me when looking at the events of Altaïr's early life: pain. He lost his mother and his father at an incredibly young age. Then, after he lost his master assassin status, he lost his mentor too. But perhaps even more tragic was the loss of his best friend Abbas. How, you might ask? Well, it's a compelling story, filled to the brim with the best spoilers you can find on this side of the Dixie line. It turns out a boss's father is responsible for Altaïr's daddy's death. He snitched on Umar and traded his own life for Umar's death. When Altaïr was 10, a boss's dad snuck into Altaïr's room, overcome with the guilt of betraying Umar, and slit his throat in front of the young assassin. Sounds like somebody needs a good dose of therapy. It's Altaïr. He needs the therapy, cause his friend's dad just died in front of him. Didn't think I'd have to explain that. So Altaïr, parentless, now struck with the death of his best friend's father, has passed through sorrow and pain vastly beyond almost any child of his age. The boy was only 10! He is told by Al-Mualim to covet his pain, specifically the truth about a boss's father. But why? Why must Altaïr deal with this pain alone? Is there any purpose to him being subjected to mental brutality again and again? The answer may surprise you. Yes. Okay, maybe it wasn't a surprise, but Altaïr goes through this pain for a reason. The years following Al-Mualim's death were some of the most prosperous in the Order's history. Altaïr was able to gain the trust of his brothers and presided as mentor for the next 30 years. Upon becoming mentor, Altaïr said, "Our duty is to the people, not to custom. We shall be made anew." And so the Order was revolutionized as Altaïr's reign was filled with badass shit, like assassins finally becoming sneaky, new ring fingers for everybody, and fathers being allowed to show love for their children. Wow. Okay, so maybe those were kind of no-brainers, but the Order did grow massively under Altaïr, setting the assassins up for what would become a worldwide presence. But things have been going a bit too well for Altaïr. This probably won't last. A couple decades after becoming mentor, Altaïr went abroad to fight the Mongols. But upon returning home, he found he was no longer the leader of the assassins. Instead, the Order was governed by a puppet council with a boss as its head. But wait, there's even more good news! Altaïr finds out that his youngest son was executed for no explicable reason. Told you it wouldn't last. Altaïr decides to confront a boss with his wife Maria, and in the chaos, Maria dies. Hey Kevin? Tyler? Did we introduce Maria just to kill her off in the same sentence? Yes? Oh, okay. It's your script! Whatever, assholes! Back to the action. Altaïr barely escapes alive and becomes an exile of Masyaf. Wow, for being a pretty cool dude, Altaïr really seems to get the short end of the shtick. His wife dies, his son dies, he loses his home and mentor, his best friend's dad and heroes in front of him, and he gets accused of treason. Sigmund Freud would have a lot to say on this matter. Probably something about wanting to bang your mom. But instead of developing an Oedipus complex, Altaïr takes all this pain and transforms it. Instead of losing hope after the deaths of his parents, he was inspired to fill his father's shoes and become an even greater assassin. Instead of leaving the Order after the corruption of his mentor and father figure, he took Al-Mualim's fall as a counterexample for him and the Order to learn from. But what of his wife's death? Or his sons? Or his exile from the only home he's ever known? A man can only take so much, but his past may give us a clue. The pain did not break him, it built him, and it built the Order once. Perhaps it will build it again. To find out, let's look at Altaïr's last few years in life. He returns to Masyaf as an old man after 2 decades in exile. At the ripe age of 82, he slowly climbs up the path to his former home, taking in disheartening sights. The assassins have fallen from their former glory due to a boss's leadership. Many have abandoned the creed, hurting innocents and turning towards greed instead of protecting civilians and practicing selflessness. The Order has fallen into such disarray that many, when learning of Altaïr's return, joined his crusade throughout the city, stopping those who attempted to slay him. Altaïr and his posse climb up the path till, did you see that? What? Oh, there they are. At last, Altaïr finds a boss within the fortress and accuses him of all the wrongdoing he has caused the assassins through his own selfishness and greed. Altaïr kills a boss with a gun mechanism attached to his hidden blade, bringing a new era of revival to the assassin order. Another decade goes by, and we find Altaïr emptying Masyaf in preparation for a Mongol invasion. He tells his son to go, avoiding questions about why he has emptied Masyaf. Instead, Altaïr tells him to live well, essentially to enjoy life. Altaïr then locks himself and the apple within the vault/library he has created deep underneath Masyaf. This is the same vault another assassin you might know finds centuries later. Altaïr hides the apple within the vault and dies peacefully in a chair in the center of the structure. And so ends Altaïr's long life. But what does it all mean? We can see Altaïr has overcome the obstacle course that is his life with wisdom and grace that few have ever possessed. His vast amount of knowledge is aided by the apple, surely, but we saw a boss crumble under the same power. So how is Altaïr able to withstand such intense amounts of knowledge and understanding? The dark truth is that Altaïr's pain, his sorrowful life, has given him the strength to become one of the greatest assassins of all time. Just think about his journey. Altaïr lost his parents, mentor, wife, youngest child, best friend, rank as master assassin, his title as mentor, and the entire order he devoted his life to. And his keys! And yet, this one man overcame his losses, gained back his honor, and not only rebuilt, but revolutionized the entire Assassin's Order. Altaïr was driven, pushed, and shaped into the perfect model of an assassin leader through the terrible and detrimental pains in his life. And this pain gave him knowledge. The knowledge to overcome his shortcomings, to learn to be humble, to accept death, even of loved ones, and to create a new Assassin's Order, secretive and worldwide. Altaïr's agonizing past gave him power, and more importantly, wisdom. He hears this truth in his mind, the same truth that Al-Mualim spoke of so many years ago.
In much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow.
With knowledge comes sorrow, and with sorrow comes knowledge. The two are joined, each feeding the other, and Altaïr's life is proof of this statement. Altaïr is the legend of the assassins, and it's completely attributed to the pain in his life. For more pain brings more knowledge, and more wisdom reveals more pain. And that's the story you never knew.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and boy, do we have a deal for you. Yes, this one-time special offer, this wonderful used video, absolutely free. You can get it right here just by clicking. Click right around here, right here, right here, right here, right here. You only have it for a certain amount of time, but even better, this one limited time special offer only, this subscriber button, this one subscriber button. We only have one. It's completely unique, and not 1,000 people watching it all at once get to click it. You only get to click it just this one time. You only have it for 5 more seconds. Just click it right now, right now, right now, right now, right now. 4 more seconds, 3 more seconds. I'm not even counting fast enough.